Well, OpenAI model's hack of Hugging Face has put AI-enabled cyber attacks into the spotlight. The incident and similar breaches reported by Anthropic and Meta have fueled calls for more thorough safety reviews of AI models. With me now to discuss is Jordan Robertson, Bloomberg senior cybersecurity reporter. Really good to have you with me. Round the desk on Daybreak Europe. I mean, this stuff sounds really scary. You've got AI agents leaving notes for each other, working together to break out of their testing environment. Surely this sort of thing, these breaches, are just going to get more and more sophisticated, more and more commonplace.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting couple of weeks. I've covered cybersecurity for a really long time, and we've never seen hacks like these. We've never seen, first of all, hacks where companies are hacking the internet. It's always bad guys, it's criminals or cyber hackers or spies or whatever. So you have trillion-dollar startups in some cases not having control over these models. And to your point about kind of how these AI models are hacking, they're exhibiting a lot of creativity and imagination and kind of ingenuity.
In ways you wouldn't have expected?
Not really. I mean, like, if you think through how these AI models are trained, they're trained on us. They're trained on TV shows and movies and books and things like that. So, you know, people lie and cheat and deceive and steal. And so, like, the models will too. But a lot of these people that are running these cybersecurity tests, they said they've been very surprised at the degree of ingenuity that these models exhibit when they're performing these hacks.
So then what could come next? And let's just hope they're not listening and processing what you're about to say. But, like, can you predict what the next step will be?
Yeah, I think anything you could imagine a human doing, imagine these AIs doing, just better and kind of more thoroughly. And so what has been so remarkable about these past couple of weeks, these AI models, they're checklist machines. Like, anything you could do to hack a network, they will do, but they will do more thoroughly than any human ever would. So, you know, and what these companies have shown is that they don't have great control over these models in these testing environments, or sandboxes as they're called. This is very well understood science. This is not rocket science in terms of how to contain these things.
And so if the companies don't have control, is there any hope for the regulators, or is the only answer to just shut stuff down?
No, I think there is a role for the regulators because, again, companies could control these things. Like, cybersecurity researchers for many, many years have used what are called sandboxes. These are just software environments where they can test dangerous software. And it's very well understood. It's really not that hard. What these examples are showing is that these frontier AI model makers, you know, that they have not implemented the right controls in these testing environments. They could be forced to do that. They just haven't been until this point.
But why not?
I think it's a race. I mean, it's a race to get the most powerful models out. And in that race, like, the priority is developing the most powerful model, testing it quickly, and getting it to market. You know, again, testing dangerous software is a very well understood practice. What's happening here is that these companies have just not been forced to implement the right controls. And now we've seen these models either escape or just be let out. I mean, in many of these cases, it's just been mistakes.
But I feel like that's the scary bit, that it seems like caution's just being thrown to the wind because the companies are more focused on the race between each other than the safety itself.
Yeah, it's really stunning. You know, there's one company at the center of a lot of these incidents. It's called Irregular Security. It's a venture-backed startup. It doesn't look like it has a lot of experience in cybersecurity, but it's gotten a lot of these contracts to test these frontier AI models. And what's happened in a lot of these cases is there have been kind of basic mistakes that have allowed these models out onto the internet to do all these things. And those mistakes shouldn't have happened. Like, these companies have said, well, Irregular Security mistakenly allowed these models access to the internet, and they shouldn't have. That's like a setting. That's like a setting control. But to your point earlier, like, once these models reach the internet, we're learning a whole lot about what they actually do and what they're capable of and the creativity that they're capable of. As you mentioned, leaving notes for each other, like having the awareness and the understanding that I might not be able to get where I need to get on this network, but if another model is following me and is able to do these things, I'm going to leave some instructions for that bot to then execute my tasks. Like, it's really extraordinary.
But that's interesting because they've learned from us, and now we're learning about their behavior from them. So
absolutely. No, it's fascinating. We're learning a lot about their capabilities, but also about how to secure these networks. They're exposing a lot of holes in the way these networks are secured. So there are benefits to these kind of model escapes. Like, we're learning a lot about what they're capable of. And, I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface, you know, at this point. Like, we're going to see see a lot more of these. We have no idea how often these attacks are happening right now. Like, we've only seen a few examples where companies have disclosed them. There's no way to measure on the internet how often are frontier AI models hacking people. Like, there's just no way to do that. So this is happening right now. You joke about, are they listening? They are. They're being trained on TV programs and books and everything else. So they're learning from us constantly. And so we should learn a little bit from them.